Sid the shop dog. Hey guys, wanted to give you a little updated video on the shop. For those of you on Facebook, just show you where I'm working, and probably the first time people on YouTube have seen it. So I'll give you a little walk around here, show you a couple projects that are going out, and we're a little bit projectless right now. We're getting ready to start the next one. So let's give you a little walk around, give you a little update. Apologize for the cell phone video. So this is just a project that's on its way out for Derek Ducasse. He had an old hatch on his new project boat, new to him, and the hatch was cracked in half. So we used some reclaimed teak. We made him a new hatch. We did a restoration on this aluminum frame that it sits in. It was in really bad shape. It was cracked. Most of the holes were pretty much destroyed and cracked. So we brazed up the holes, polished the whole thing. We re-drilled and re-countersunk the holes. It's ready for him to put back in. You can kind of see some of the old aluminum down there and what kind of shape it was in. It came out really nice. Put this nice shamrock in the middle here for him. This is a cell phone amplifier that's going to be a Father's Day gift, and I can't say for who. Came out nice. Another reclaimed pallet wood project. So let's get inside the shop. Anyway, this is our kind of outside pressure treated installation table and workbench. Some homemade monster sawhorses made out of 4x6s and pressure treated lumber, whatever we could find for legs. This is our central machine sanding station. For those of you on YouTube, if you're looking for a great machine for sanding, this thing removes a lot of material, and really until these belts and sanding discs are worn down a little bit, it's a little rough for fine woodworking. Once they wear down, they're a little bit more manageable. They remove a lot of material, and it's really high horsepower, so you have to be careful with it. Definitely test it out on some scraps if you get one from Harbor Freight, because it takes a lot of material off really quick. I would suggest messing around on the internet and trying to find yourself some finer grit than the 80 grit belt and sanding discs that come with it. Just got to be a little careful, but it's a really nice machine, very stable. Grind metal, grind wood, remove a lot of wood really quickly. It's a really nice machine. This is our air station. It's just a couple of my old portable air compressors. They're joined together with an air bladder on the top, really inexpensive Duralast air bladder. It gives it a lot of air capacity. It'll run all my impact tools, and I keep it just hooked up to a blower to blow off projects and tools in the shop. This is our new to us restoration that we did on a Ridgid 2424 table saw. My friend Eddie Ivers gave it to us. It's got very few board feet through it. It's almost brand new. It had been taking up space in his garage and was very, very rusted. And we did a restoration on it. I think it came out beautiful. Zero clearance insert plate that we made for it. The fence was really a piece of junk from Ridgid, and they wouldn't give me any help on it at all. Guess lifetime warranty doesn't mean anything to them. We put new fence rails on it. I put a new tape on it so that the width of the 3/4 fence rails would work. I just put together this portable folding outfeed table. And it's just an old table that we used in the backyard, really inexpensive folding plastic table. Very, very slippery on the top, so it works great for an outfeed table. And just retrofitted some extra 1-inch pipe that I had lying around with some small clamps They fit right over the 3/4 pipe legs, so I can adjust the height to be perfectly parallel and perpendicular anywhere I put it with the table. And the small clamps, I never use them, so they work perfect for this. And basically, you could fold this thing up and stick it in a lumber rack. It's really light, really portable. Works nice for this. This is our drill press station. A couple of grinders. We've got a couple of bench mounted vices here. Pretty basic. Sharpening tools and so on and so forth. Most of this stuff is going to get relocated as we work our way through organizing the shop. For now, I just wanted to show you what's up. Tool bags full of tools that almost never get pulled out. And I just like saying that because I like the term tool bags. This is our the restoration we just did on a Craftsman 113. It's absolutely beautiful saw now. Went right through the whole thing. I just built this crosscut sled for it. So my 780 DeWalt sliding 12-inch miter saw is almost never going to get used anymore. And I'll save this crosscut sled build for another video. We retrofitted the 113 with a Delta T3 fence to take care of the problems with the old Craftsman fence, as most of you guys know about on YouTube. And we installed an old Ryobi router table in the saw. One of my routers, my Ryobi router, just sits in there all the time for any tabletop work. And let's see here. This is a restoration that we did on an old Craftsman jointer 113. All restored, works great. Made these push blocks for it. And I did end up finding on the internet a chip collector made by Craftsman for underneath. It's really the best chip collection solution for this thing. If you guys are looking for chip collection, that's it. This is our restoration project on a Craftsman 103 Alien planer that I use. It's only got 6 1/8 inch knives, but we use it mostly on truing up any 2x4s from any pallets. Most of our work is done with reclaimed wood, and it works remarkably well for an older machine. This is actually a dust collection port that I made for it, and this fitting that I never use ends up just sliding right over the top. It basically collects every chip that comes out of this thing. Does a great job. Just keep it hanging over here. This is our glue up table, and as you can see, it's for once it's projectless, which is nice. Give me a little time to work on the shop. Just a couple of wall mounted magnets hold most of our steel tools up here. That's an old skill saw that I have for job sites that I don't use very much. It's kind of more become a collection table than anything. And some of our old router tables that'll eventually get used and mounted somewhere. For dust collection, I made a cyclone. You guys can find all the videos online. All I can tell you is that they work absolutely awesome. Nothing gets in the Ridgid. That's a 5 horsepower, actually combination blower shop vac. Works with the 2.5 hose. I've retrofitted all my machines with dust collection for the 2.5 hose. And let's see here. This is our old generator, 4,000 watt generator we restored. Just waiting for a power outage. These are some big pipe clamps for tabletops that we've been doing that I just did. This is our the workbench that we just built out of reclaimed wood again. And it's a shop box vise with a quick release. That's just a little Irwin vise on the other side. Reclaimed red oak jaws on them. It's a great table. Maple butcher block. That a friend of mine thought was microlam beam, and it really wasn't wide enough to do anything else with, so we decided to make a table out of it. And just all mortise and tenon, pressure treated 4x4s that we milled down into 3x3 to make it a little more manageable for the joints. And yeah, it does a good job. This is our router station. That box up top is going to be my new box for my bits. I'm just making some shelves. I'm going to drill some holes and put all my bits in it. And it's Bosch 1617, new DeWalt 611, and an old Craftsman that we restored with no on-off switch. So I'm actually going to end up putting that in a table with a manual on-off switch for it. And the bits kind of stick in it a little bit, so I'm trying not to use it anymore. Planing station, and all these shelves that are up here, again, are reclaimed just out of shops that we've been through that people were trying to get rid of and clean out. Got a couple of old Auburn tool planes that I restored that are nice and sharp. Block plane and a leveling plane, late 1800s. My jack planes, smoothing planes, low angle smoothing plane, just all basic Stanley tools, but they all work really well. And let's see here, this last project that we just got done was doing over the laundry room. It was just kind of rough finished in the farmhouse like this. And we just kind of trimmed it out and finished it off. Gave it a coat of paint, redid the walls. We did these, this cabinet here, and this basically covers, these are the electrical boxes from the house. They were just on the wall here. So we did up these cabinets with some old hinges off an old china cabinet to cover these up so they weren't so unsightly. Just basically poplar MDF, a couple of reclaimed shelves that we made. I don't know why, but this outlet sat an inch proud from the wall and is up against the old original exterior of the house, so I couldn't move it back. I didn't have room to move it back, so we just made a plate around it. We trimmed out the old farm door that was an inch proud of the wall. Actually had to cut it down and trimmed it with the original size trim that was in this room. To make room for the washing machine, I had to leave it out for the vent hose and everything. So we actually just put a shelf on the top. Kind of covers the hole in the back. Works out good. This was the original cabinet from the original farmhouse up on the wall. And some reclaimed pallet wood boxes that we put up top. We trimmed out this window. Again, original dimensions on the original wood that was trimmed out in this room. This window was just rough, sitting in the wall. Big hole, nothing in there. We made some extension jambs and just a window sill and apron plate. Matches everything else. My next project is to replace this floor in here. I actually have some of these new stick-on tiles. I'm going to put them in and then make it kind of look all brandy new in here. So nothing new in the house to report, but I just wanted to give you a shop update, show you what's going on. For you YouTube people, it's the first time you've seen it. And this is the Pirate Solutions Wood Shop. We will have a Facebook page up pretty soon. We're working on it right now. Basically, any toolsmithing, woodworking, everything from